That's a bit better. There we go. Hello, hello, everybody. A little bit of a complex, yeah. Oh, well. I'm getting way too distracted. Let's go with this first option here for Luca. I love that game so much. A few things, Luca says. He had a huge map of the local sewer lines on his desk when I got there, but they weren't of Ottawa. That's odd, you say, and it is. What is he looking at? What sewers are these for, unless it's the next city over? Montreal? I don't know Canadian geography at all. I don't know American geography at all. Fuck. Yeah, I think they were for this name that you guys told me how to say last time I played this game, but I cannot remember for the life of me. So I'm just going to call it the Big G. Yeah, I think they were for the Big G. He might be looking to expand his domain in secret, though I doubt even he'd be able to dig beneath the river to connect the two sewer systems. Honestly, though, I didn't learn all that much that was relevant to Arundel's disappearance. I'm not sure what Eden expected me to find out, but whatever it was, I must have missed the mark. Gotta go do mommy duties. Oh dear. Good luck. That name is so small. What is it? Elistre? Elistre? She's like moon. She's a moon god like Saloon. Oh, interesting, but emo. Interesting. Saloon or Lathander? Curious. Man, I'm so pumped. I'm finally gonna start Curse of Strahd tonight. It's just session 0, so we won't actually start it. But I feel like I've gotten everybody here hyped up way too much. They're bringing like an entire feast for the evening. Somebody suggested the idea of food, and now it has become a picnic night. I hope I live up to their expectations. Session 0 is super important. Yes, it is! I learned that by having many D&D games without one, and watching just how much they can make things fall apart. You make hot wings, that's awesome. To be fair, the player's handbook even says, snacks is the third most important thing in D&D, the first thing being friends and the second being a vivid imagination. Yeah, lay the foundation. Yeah, otherwise you end up with murder hobos, chaotic evil characters, which is a murder hobo, and at least 3 people with a completely different vision of how they think the campaign will and should go, and then get upset when it doesn't. Don't get me started on murder hobos. I feel like it's just a lack of RP. It's playing it like you're playing Skyrim for the 18th time in a row. Everybody builds a murder hobo eventually in Skyrim. Yes. Did you learn anything interesting from your meeting with Vivian? Was she showing any signs of instability? Yeah, I learned that Vivian is a bitch. Luca, that's all I learned. She was sharp and severe as ever. No, she was rude. Rude and prude. Didn't actually get to talk with her much. She was in a rush. She said, oh, fine, we'll just tell Luca the fucking truth. Last time she saw Arundel, they were both dining with some guy from the Middle East over, I don't know, a big oil venture. I don't care. Huh, Luca says. I think I know about that one. Why? There was a press release and everything. Why? Talk of the business world. Why? So at least that part of her story checks out. There's something about her that just doesn't sit right with me. You should probably watch out for that. Yeah, same. Everything about her rubbed me the wrong way. She motions for you to walk with her as she ties back her shoulder-length brown hair in a tight ponytail. As she walks, you notice that she's wearing just enough makeup to make it look like she's not wearing any at all. Almost flawless in presentation. By contrast, you look a bit like a mess. Although you've been doing well enough considering how the sheriff was at your door almost immediately after you woke up, and you've been on the move ever since. Murder hobo, oh dear. Yeah, that's just when the player doesn't really have, I don't know, much of a direction. They build a chaotic evil character, which I think should not be a allowable alignment for a character, and just, I don't know, take up shop somewhere, burn down half the village, and kill at least 3 important NPCs. Oil, you say? My Norwegian senses are tingling. That's right, sometimes I forget it's as big a thing for Scandinavia. Mostly, is it just Norway? I think it's a bit more than just Norway, but I know Norway has a lot of investments. Is it just Norway? Really? Interesting. Okay. Didn't know that. For some reason, I thought it was I thought it was more of like all those cold places. That's why the Swedes come to work here. I didn't know that. That is interesting. It's what my character would do. Is it? Is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I've had so many bad D&D campaigns that at the time I justified as being reasonable. Alright, slight deviation rant from the game. I had one campaign that was good and fun, and I realized we didn't have a session 0, so we didn't know what the DM wanted from us. But he made it seem like he was fine with just whatever we wanted to do, so we kind of like took over a little city. We were building relationships with NPCs. We had a little, like, I don't know, shitty ghetto town that we kind of built from the ground up. We were trying to bring in trade. We were kind of playing like City Sim D&D. And I don't know if there was an actual plot going on or not. Probably was, knowing the DM. But at one point, he decided to read a manual for a different game, different campaign that took place in the Underdark, and decided that he liked it so much that without telling us what he was doing, he railroaded a way to get us from where we were on this cloud-based city to the Underdark, and me and my friend never played again, because I don't know, it was like as railroady as you can get. It kind of took all the fun out of it. We heated it with Jude a couple weeks ago. SEAL Team 6 Strahd's Castle. Not the front door, the back window. Oh dear. Literally head first. It's very interesting. I joined, of course there is. There's a subreddit for Curse of Strahd, and I joined that to just see what other people talk about, but something that struck me as interesting. This is kind of relevant. My next audio is all about Strahd. Something that struck me as interesting is how many people have, like, the first introduction with Strahd be like for the whole group. Like, Strahd just shows up, and talks to them as, like, in the daytime, everybody all at once. I mean, you're walking around like he owns the place, because he literally fucking does. But for me, I feel like the point is to sow chaos in the party. Wouldn't he want to meet with them in private? I don't know. That's what's going to happen to you guys, but your DM didn't do that, but you've heard of it. Yeah. Picking the right window. Yeah. No brakes, all gas. Oh dear. Feeling like I need to justify D&D on my stream. You know, sometimes I do. I feel like half of my audience probably doesn't know much about D&D, and out of that group, there's definitely, there's people out there that just hear D&D and they kind of shut down a little bit inside. I get it. But, I fucking love D&D. You didn't meet him until the very end. Interesting. I'll have to see what the best way to do it with my group is. It's like when you love D&D, it's all you want to talk about ever. Yeah, it's true. Me, now. That fucking Curse of Strahd book, it was like reading a good book. There's an actual story in the manual itself, and I'm having such a hard time not talking about it with my players, because I'm like, you guys, the story's so good, and their response is like, nice, can't wait to hear about it, Jasper. But I've spent the past 2 months reading it. Hello, Summer, welcome. Guess who can't fall asleep? Oh no, rip. Used to have to listen to your old man as two uncles. While playing until 5 in the morning. Oh dear, rip. I feel very much I don't know. Because D&D is just an imagination game, it's a reflection of who plays it. So if you experience people playing it and you're not the biggest fan of those people or how they play it, it can really skew your perspective of the game. Which is why I'm glad, like, Critical Role got so popular, because I feel like they are all very charismatic people, and so watching them play it is like reading a good fantasy story, so you got pretty burned out. I can imagine, yeah. Supposed to try to win us over, instead you just SEAL Team 6. That's very funny. Sleep schedule is fucked and come for more stories. Well, welcome, welcome. Laura Croft. Kick-ass whip, that's awesome. It kind of is in a way. I've seen a lot of people complain, like, Critical Role has ruined D&D because it's put new players' expectations so high. Maybe you should just do better. I say, definitely not going to be able to live up to Matt Mercer levels. And it get good, right? Like, well, like, just, I don't know. I think also what some people don't realize is that Critical Role obviously talk about their game before and after, and then again in between their games, because they're doing it for entertainment's sake. But I feel like that's also probably how D&D should go. It's like writing a book with other people. The more you talk about it outside of the actual writing, the better it's going to be because you've planned it more. Whereas if you don't talk about it at all, I've tried writing. It's like joining a fucking roleplay forum online or something, and everybody knows how they want their bit of the story to go, and so it's a complete clusterfuck. You are cackling. Have fun with it. It doesn't need to be too serious. Yeah, there's also that, right? It should be, unless you're joining it for entertainment's sake, it should be fun. Even Critical Role has fun with it. Role-playing couldn't be. You're naturally cool. Brennan Lee. Who is that? Yes, I have Summer. He's the best boy. Oh, the other D. There's another one. I've mostly just seen highlights of Critical Role. I think I've seen 1 or 2 complete episodes. But 2-hour-long episodes, 4-hour-long episodes that go on for hundreds of episodes is kind of hard to keep up with. Confirmed Matt. Really interesting. I feel like a lot of people, or a lot of D&D podcasters and stuff, have really tried to lean into Matt Mercer, because one thing that Matt does a lot of is, like, dramatic acting, but also, like, a lot of sound effects while he's doing it. Like, he'll act out what the attack is and give little sound effects while he's doing it. You'd have to watch it religiously. Yeah, you would. So I've seen a couple people do that, and I don't know, unless that's your thing already, it can come off as a bit awkward. Oh, interesting. Said thousands of years. Now he has his own show. Okay. Is that the, Roll20? I don't think it's Roll20. Who's the other... There's another really big D&D, show. Can I call it show? Man, I've gotten so derailed from what we were playing. Oh, okay. Okay. Then I know who that is. I've also seen a lot of highlights from that. I thought it was Roll20, but that's the website too, isn't it? Unless that is the website's show. They switch it around. Oh, that's kind of cool. Fall in love with all of them and stabbed us in the back. Oh dear. You can always do the voice acting and the effects. Really? It helps you. Otherwise you'd fall asleep. That's fair, right? The more lively you get into it, D&D can be a lot of waiting around for other people. So, I guess the more you get into it, it can kind of keep you active and keep you aware of it. Roll 20. Dimension, that's it, exactly. I knew the show wasn't Roll 20, but I knew there was a website, Roll 20. Yes, Dimension 20. I have seen a bit of that, yes, okay. Names are Horde. They're what? Okay, I gotta keep reading, or we won't get anywhere. I have to definitely stop. I've said this like every fucking time. But I do have to stop on time today because I have to trek across the world by foot since I don't own a car to get to this D&D place on time. Welcome to Jasper's Podcast, where we talk about D&D and we have a screen of text that belongs to Vampire the Masquerade, but it never actually changes. Vink actually had a very amusing idea that I might have to try, I don't know. He said that what he thinks the real move should be is I just play Bloons, you know, Bloons Tower Defense 6 or whatever it is at this point, on the easiest mode possible. Have that up as just like a visual for something, because everybody in this day and age has fucking ADHD to the max. I can't say otherwise. And then just have it be like a podcast so that it's on easy mode. I'm just gonna play it. It won't, I don't know. It's very easy to do. Basically have it for the Zoomers and just chat. Exactly, yeah. And I just chat, no, exactly, Summer. And then I just like chat and have a little podcast going. You fucking saw it coming. Maybe I should do it if it makes that much sense, yeah. No, it's like those podcasts you'll see on TikTok where they'll have like subway surfers going on as a visual, and then their little picture or their avatar or VTuber or something in the corner that's like moving along as they talk. I won't lie, I've been trapped sometimes. It's like, it's not just listening. There's a visual there, so you're staring at it, but I've played Temple Run. I've never played Subway Surfers. It's the same game, just reskinned. But I really don't care what I'm fucking looking at. But for some reason, the little guy just like dicking around keeps my visual attention while I listen to what's going on. I thought it was actually pretty smart. Temple Run sent me back 10 years. What do you mean, not like you're working on art? Hi, Key, love that. Very wise. Damn, maybe I should do that then. I could have like one day a week, maybe once I finished Vampire the Masquerade or something, that I just do that. Or maybe 2 days a week. Do it. Yeah, I could. I gotta finish this first. I thought to add an extra layer of just absolute fucking ADHD degeneracy on top of that, I also have, as a fallback for when I run out of things to talk about, as a fallback. You don't like it already. As a fallback, I have a completely random generated little dungeon to progress through, where on Twitch, if you like subscribe or something, you get inserted into the game as an NPC goblin. And it's all just like notes that I have on the side or something, maybe the little visual of exploring the dungeon as it keeps getting procedurally generated. No, I'm so on board with this. Oh dear. Gremlin, not a goblin. I feel like it would make it a lot harder than just having balloons, but then I feel like there's also the incentive. You must see, I know that the times I stream make it quite miserable to catch. But yeah, I feel like it would... What was I saying? It would give me... I lost... All just, like, totally lost in the sauce. See, this is where that little random generated dungeon would come in. I'd have the goblins just progress out for me. I'd probably be a goblin myself. Orange cat, yeah. We like having things get... I feel like it'd be difficult to track, but I don't think it'd be that hard. There's definitely got to be a way to, like, just procedurally generate some little dungeon room for me. And because they're goblins, you guys, anybody in the chat, because they're goblins, I'm sorry, but you're gonna die kind of, like, fast and easy. So there should be little ways to, like, get back in the game. Tower defense. Yes, have that be the visual to all of this. Fast and easy is my middle name. Oh, dear. Oh, I should keep reading. I've said that like 8 times so far in the past half hour. I mean, what? I'll have to tell Vince that you guys unironically enjoy that idea. It's gold. Distraction counter when I should, yeah. Alright. You look like a bit of a mess. Did Corliss tell you why she brought me back to Ottawa? No! Corliss doesn't tell me fucking anything. What are you talking about, Luca? She hasn't mentioned it. No? You've been away for a while, but I'm sure she had a good reason. Corliss always does, right? Luca frowns. I frown. You frown. Everybody in the room frowns, except Corliss starts clapping. That's just it. She hasn't given me any explanation at all. Oh. Other than her new investigation. I feel like I'm treading water here. I think she's gonna cut you off? You have to consider that there's a lot going on. Not long after you arrived, the Anarchs appeared, Arundel went missing, and now this mess with Vivian. That happened after she arrived? That wasn't the reason she was brought back? Corliss is bringing all of her children under the same roof, and then mystery after mystery start popping up? That's a little sussy for my baka, if you ask me. You have to go jump. It's officially. Bye-bye, Shay. Good luck. I fucking hate cardio. I hate running. Don't mind cardio. Running sucks. I'm jealous. I don't have woods near me. She sent for you without any explanation, even after all these years. She sent for you without any explanation, even after all these years away. Okay, makes a bit more sense reading it like that. Even after all these years away. What is she ever doing overseas anyways? Let's do the middle one, right? Like, no reason at all? You love cardio, but that kind of cardio doesn't... Oh, dear. Oh, I get it. What? Summer, please, what are you saying? Cardio has become your friends. Interesting. Oh, after years of compulsive pacing. That's fair. I just don't like running. I like most other forms of cardio you can do. If only you'd moved to Norway, there'd be plenty of woods. Norway does have a lot of wilderness. That's something that I guess... Here I am. Distracted. Again. Tally +1. That's something that I didn't, I guess, expect. There's not as much wilderness here, which makes sense. It's a much smaller country. It is more, probably more densely populated. I don't know if I'm speaking out of my ass when I say that. But they still need the room to, like, farm and feed the country. So there's not as much nature. Into reps, oh dear. You're surrounded by woods. Really? I'm definitely surrounded by green, which is nice after having come from living right downtown where everything was a cement jungle. But there's no, like, I would only have to drive like an hour, and there would be a huge, what I realize now is a huge forest that most people never even went in. You meet LA. Oh yeah, I've actually never been to LA. I've been to the airport, so I've seen it, but never like been in the city. Whereas here, I'm surrounded by green everywhere, which is very nice, but there's no, I guess there are some big forests, and relatively speaking, I'm closer to them than if I lived elsewhere here, but they're just not the same size. I guess everything is bigger in America. Come visit me. I will take to. Is that Korean barbecue? I think it's the same size. That is true. Bye, Nest of the Raven. Thanks for stopping in. I hope. I don't know. I hope I never trash on the UK. I genuinely enjoy it here, probably more than America, but every country deserves a little bit of trashing on, right? I can't remember the last time I've had Korean barbecue. I have had it at least once in my life, but I feel like it's been a while. Anyways, back to the game. Nothing. But when she calls, I come running, Luca says with an exasperated sigh. We've established that the very night she took me. Serving her has also served me well for what it's worth, and I enjoy staying alive. Well, as alive as this counts, anyway. That doesn't sound like the healthiest of relationships, you say, knowing damn well that it's the same fucking way with you. What am I? Did I forget that Corliss raised me the same way? Whatever. Silas, shut up. What did she have doing overseas anyway? I was running the international branches of her business. That's why she embraced me. I'm very good at what I do, and as long as the money keeps coming in, she's always been content to leave me to my work. It's fulfilling in its own kind of way. Sometimes years go by like the snap of a finger. It was some kind of test, I think. She wanted to see how I could hold up. How long I could hold up under the pressure. Luca's eyes are focused on someone over by the main door. You follow her gaze until it rests on VtM. Her white lace shawl stands out in a room full of black and gray tones. A shiver runs down Luca's arm into her hands. She clasps them to her sides involuntarily. Why do you think they did it? They, you ask. Whoever assaulted Miss Meyer. It couldn't have been one person that did that to her. If a supernatural entity that powerful was in Ottawa stringing Kindred up, they wouldn't bother hiding in the shadows. Would they? I'm not sure. Alright, let's read them all. I hadn't really thought of that. You're right. It has to be at least 2 assailants, probably more. Does it? I guess I don't know how strong VtM is. Would it really take somebody massively overpowered to do that to her? Maybe, I don't know. She's an elder. I'm not sure. I haven't lived this unlife long enough to even grasp how many of the ancient, grasp on many of the ancient secrets, but I know many supernatural forces work from the shadows. That might be a good answer, a better answer. I don't know what to think, Luca. I got like 2 brain cells dink-a-donking around in my head at all times, but right now, you've taken one of them. I'm gonna choose number 2. You're about to say the second one, yeah. Well, they're certainly not working from the shadows anymore, Luca says. We'll always go for the supernatural angle. True. This was a warning of some kind, I agree. I'm sure of it. And that implies some sort of conspiracy. For 2 or more powerful kindred to work together, there has to be something damn important in play. She shivers again. Why did it have to be a crucifixion, though? Does that bother you, Luca?
Yeah, I find it pretty creepy myself.
The assailant certainly has a flair for the theatrical. The religious iconography did not seem a bit out of place. I think 1 or 3. A menace. Does that bother you? Should it? It might sound weird to you, but I'm Catholic. I actually didn't remember that. Seeing an immortal crucified and then rising hungry for blood isn't exactly faith-affirming. She looks more than a little embarrassed, as if she's confessing a deep, dark secret to you. From what you know, there are a surprising number of kindred who have retained a version of their mortal faith. They even sometimes, I guess Kashif says that he wakes up during the fucking day to pray, which is interesting. Also brutal on his body, I'm sure. They even sometimes merge it with new or expanded understanding since rising as the undead. Some believe that their cursed lineage leads back to the biblical Cain himself, cast out of Eden and cursed for eternity. Of course, others disagree, with origin myths ranging from Lazarus to the Egyptian god Osiris being debated at length among many scholarly kindred. Very interesting. I've never believed in such foolish fairy tales. Wow, that's a shitty thing to say to someone who clearly, confessed this out of a deepness in their character. I was never a believer. I was a believer in life, but not anymore. Do we get to choose here? Is this what we're doing? Are we choosing if we're religious? Interesting. I can't imagine believing in God when creatures like us exist and prey on the living. Silas, there are monsters far greater than you amongst the humans already. Gotta bounce. See you, Lonesome Drifter. You might have answered this before, but have you seen the movie What We Do in the Shadows? I haven't, but I've seen parts of it. And it looks very funny. I don't know why. It's one of those things that every time I see a clip of it on YouTube or TikTok or something, I always tell myself that's the movie I'm watching next, but I guess I always forget it. It looks very funny though, so I do want to see it. I have a different belief system, but like you, I still believe as I did when I was immortal. It's been a hard transition, but my faith has held strong, even though I struggled. Why do we have to respond to her with, a confession of our own? Why can't we just sympathize with her? I've never believed in a higher power, but I respect others' beliefs if it helps them cope with unlife. Almost seems a little petty. What does Silas believe? Silas believes that the key to success lies in their pants. I don't know if we can legitimately try to even pretend to believe that in this game. I'm actually Catholic as well, I say honestly. Does that mean the rest of these are a fucking lie? What? Answered your question. And answering that question is the Kwai. God damn it. Yes, I'm sorry. Kwai to the city. The Kwai to success. Fucking Qui-Gon Jinn. Oh, dear. I'm surprised to see that I'm not the only one. I lie. It's not the truth. Interesting. So we are actually, and we have to, choose what we believe? I don't think I even had this conversation last time, so I don't think I ever... Very strange. I kind of want to go with number 3, because it leaves it vague and open for interpretation. But some of the ones that say that we don't believe in it, this one, I feel like the second half of this sentence here might be a little rude. I respect others' belief. But I guess it depends on how they interpret the last bit. If it helps them cope with unlife, that could be like a little jabby. Or it could just be sincere. I don't know. I kind of want to go with number 3, though. That's definitely not okay to say. That feels really naive. Don't know about that one. And then these two are locking us in as Catholic, which I don't know if that'll affect the game in any way whatsoever. I'm going to go with this one, though. Interviewing 101. Thanks. I struggled myself, Luca confides. I went through a dark time where I was obsessed with the question of whether or not it would be a sin to take my own life. Suicide leads to damnation, but I'm already damned, right? Can I be twice damned? She chuckles and shrugs. It's an impossible question. So does she see herself as being a vampire? Does she see herself as, like, legitimately damned in God's eyes? Interesting. So one day, I worked up the nerve to walk into a church. I was afraid I'd burn up on the spot, but I ended up just fine. I looked up at Christ, and I swear he spoke. I swear he spoke to me, and told me that his forgiveness extended even to vampires. I guess that answers that. So she doesn't believe to be damned. Carlisle Collins. What is that? I don't think I know what that is. Who that is? Where that is? Maybe I should do the same. I don't know if that actually contributes to the conversation. I forget you never liked Twilight. No, I'm afraid not. Sorry. She's dodging punishment. I'm glad you were able to find some peace. Must have been awful. That feels genuine. That's a dangerous risk. A priest could have hurt you, even destroyed you. Could they? How? I was under the impression, like, can they? Is that real? I'm not clicking that. I'm glad you were able to find some peace. That's a nice thing to say to Luca. Don't mind the ping chat. Oh, did you ping me in Discord? He's the leader of their coven. The dad believes he's damned for being a vampire too. Interesting. Okay. Read Twilight for the plot. I remember when... It's funny, I remember somebody talking to me about the books probably 3 or 4 years before the movies came out and got popular, and I remember hearing about it and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Maybe I will check those out. And then as soon as the movies came out, it was over, because everyone's like, your name's Jasper. Did you know? I bet you didn't. Did I just flip upside down for half a second? What happened? What? Did you... What the fuck? What caused that? Well, I slapped my table. I didn't press a button. That was my hand on my desk. What the fuck? That was very strange. Fascinating. Interesting. Jasper salt can influence reality. With enough anger, we can bend the fabric of time itself. Oh dear. I'm gonna move on. I can't say I'll ever be entirely comfortable with what I am, Luca says. Maybe that's for the better though, Luca. We're vampires. We kill people to survive. But I'll sleep better, knowing that God hasn't abandoned me. She clears her throat. Sorry for the awkward tangent. Things that I tell my chat every 30 seconds. I shouldn't let what happened to Vivian get to me. Corliss always said faith was my weak spot. Well, our sire would know best. I wish I could say that with a gravy-thick amount of sarcasm. Hello, hello. Zarian? Am I reading that right? VO? Welcome. Corliss doesn't know everything. That's true. I think your faith is important regardless of what our sire says. It's only a weakness if you let it be one. I think that can be true for most things. Why not? Luca's eyes shift back and forth around the room before she speaks. That's true, but I didn't expect to hear it from you. Why not? I guess I was just... It was suggested to me that you're a favorite of hers. Who said that? She frowns. It's not important. I'm just glad you are your own person. It's a good thing to know. This world's far too dangerous for us to stop asking questions. I've seen more than one kindred disappear, even after following every order they were given. Speaking of which, do you think I should get armed? I couldn't travel back to Canada with a weapon. I had to borrow a gun from Key for the raid, but he took it back right afterwards. I hate to owe anyone a favor, but it might be worth it if we have Primogen getting crucified in their havens. But I VtM, LMAO, oh dear. What is my phone buzzing for? Why does Instagram make my phone go buzz? I don't even use it. This is very interesting. Maybe we should start leaning into the subversive a little more. The way Luca responded here almost implies that she... You're not using the app enough. Hello? Mr. Zucky needs more fucky. Yikes. Yeah, that's probably what it is. No, but this is very interesting. It seems like Luca does not trust Corliss, or perhaps even like Corliss, as much as I originally realized. I think we're starting to delve into areas of the game that I didn't reach in my first playthrough, because I was very much like all for Corliss my first time. Interesting. Yes, Luca, you should definitely, I don't know, carry a fucking grenade launcher with you. Things are dangerous out here in the vampire world. Absolutely, though you'd have a hard time getting one from the mortals. Gun control is a big deal around here. Good. I don't think it's a good idea to owe anyone favors around here. Besides, I only carry my own gun when it's absolutely necessary. You're probably strong enough that you don't need a gun, but you know your strength better than I do. There's no question. Arm up. The more guns, the better. Interesting. It's very interesting that in Vampire the Masquerade, so many vampires do seem to use guns. Because when I first read through the rules, I was almost under the impression the guns were kind of useless against them. So what does it mean when they say gun control is a big thing in checks notes? America. It's dangerous. Take this. Click, click. I kind of want to go with the first one. The last one seems almost silly. And I don't know how strong Luca is. I don't know if she would be better off just charging someone if she got into a fight or not. I also don't think it's a good idea to owe anyone favors, but I trust Key. I'd owe Key favors. Wink wonk. I'm going to go with the first one. So I've heard, Luca says. A bit different than down in the States. I'll see what I can dig up. She folds her report paperwork and slips it into a discreet pouch at her waist. From the other end of the room, you see Key dismiss Heinrich Lang and walk in your direction. Luca curses. I suppose it's one of... Yes, I read that right. I suppose it's one of our turns to play nice with the sheriff. I like playing nice with the sheriff. Unless the sheriff likes me playing bad. He's certainly being thorough, you say. Anything for Key. suppose I should be grateful, but it's still a pain in the ass. Is it? Is it? Could it be? She pauses for a moment. I'm glad you took the time to walk with me, Silas. Kindred aren't exactly friendly to strangers, and I've been away so long that I might as well be a new arrival to the city. It's no problem, you say. It's good we had the chance. It is. I feel like I can trust you, Luca. You let on to something that I didn't know. I have something planned for later tonight after I get out of here. I could use some help if you don't have other plans. What do you need? We can talk about it once we're finished with the sheriff. If you're interested, that is. I'll meet you on the street outside the club. Yes? Unless Key needs something from me. The one thing we've agreed upon in this stream is that we are here for Key. Sure, why not? I can't make any promises, but we can continue our discussion outside. Maybe the best one. I have no interest in spending more time with Luca. I kind of do. I'd love to help. I don't have any other plans. I can't. Or let's do that first one just in case Key also says something similar. Yes, unless. Let's go with that one. Great, Luca says with a grin. I'll see you after. I think my number's up now, though. Here he comes. Luca, Key says as he approaches you. I just need a minute or two. He turns to you. Sorry to interrupt. It's okay. Do what you need to. Hopefully we won't have to wait much longer. I'm glad you're taking this seriously. I don't sink anything except for my own ship. I don't think some of the others are. I'll go with that one. That seems like the best thing to say. I want to say the right thing to Key the whole time. Definitely not radiating disapproval. We like Key. Rest assured, Key says. He looks like he's tired of the routine himself. We're almost done. Talk to you later, Silas, Luca says as she's led away. Key emerges from his interview room, clutching a notepad and pen. He does little to hide his grim expression when he informs the council that they can leave and be about their business. Thank you for your time and patience, he says. I may need to contact some of you for follow-up questions, but for now, you're free to go. Free to go, you hear Bouchard growl, as if he has the right to stop us. You take a cramped elevator, cheek to jowl with other kindred, each eager to leave as quickly as possible, and not willing to wait a second longer to be quit of Elysium and the prolonged council. A large analog clock on the wall above the ground floor exit shows that it is 1:37 in the morning. Not long before sunrise, then. You exit Elysium out onto the cold and surprisingly crowded streets. It's not Bouchard. Bouchard? 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 Do you believe? Bouchard? What? Where chard? There chard? Listen. Yes. Hey, hello. I'm gonna call him Bouchard. Bouchard? No, that was all you had to say. Oh, okay, all right. Not long. Oh, whoops. The air tingles against your nose. That undefinable smell that heralds of coming snow. I fucking love, like, the first snowfall. Bois Chard. Not long after your embrace, the prestigious club used for Elysium had burned to the ground during a raid of attacking Canaanites from Montreal. The club had been relocated here to the 15th floor of a massive plate glass building on Bank Street, a hive of activity for kindred and kine alike. Did you ever wonder what it would be like to move south of the border? Fade asks. He's bundled up in a veritable pile of furs on top of the usual occult robe. Canada's a frozen wasteland. Why the furs, you ask? We both know you don't feel the cold. Neither do you, Fade grunts. You're dead. I'm just tagging along. Well, I'm not the one lugging around 5 or 6 fur coats. You sigh. This is getting nowhere. Seriously, Fade says. We should travel sometime. Anywhere but here. Where would you go? I'm going to give bullshit ones to T, please. It's very hard for me to get pronunciation out of reading a word. I think I usually have to hear it to be able to understand. So if I butcher it worse when you type it out, I'm sorry. I've always wanted to visit good old Europa. If only overseas transportation was easier for kindred. I could travel without worrying about the sun and intruding on others' domains. Somewhere in the Eastern world, India, maybe China. I'd go south, down to the United States, into Mexico, and just keep going, reach the South Pole. We're ageless, why not? You don't hear about kindred on island nations all that often. Why not visit Japan, Philippines, New Zealand, maybe Australia? I kind of like that. I kind of like that one. You never hear about the New Zealand vampires, right? You ignored that too. I did noggin nor that. I tried very hard, and I think I got it for a little bit, but I fell out of practice. What we doing? Is it actually about New Zealand vampires? Really? I didn't know it was supposed to take place there. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna go with that one. A Silas and Fade worldwide tour, Fade says. Sounds like an adventure. You know we can't leave Ottawa right now, you say. There is enough chaos here as it is without the Seneschal's child taking an unscheduled sabbatical. That's just an excuse and you know it. Fade shimmies out of the pile of furs and drops them on the ground where they slowly fade from view. His face grows stony, maybe even angry. He won't let you leave. And you don't even know. He? You ask. Fade, what the fuck are you talking about? His image twitches, and reality seems to twist around it for several seconds until he's whole again. I can't tell you. What do you mean you can't tell me? This is starting to get disturbing. You've never seen him act this way before. You can't hide anything. You are a part of me. Hello, Wolfie. And suddenly, you're yelling at the empty street as Fade is gone as if he never existed. You're used to him coming and going, but the timing of this disappearance is suspect and deeply concerning. Come to think of it, something else is odd. You can't remember Fade ever pushing to leave the city before. But there'd been something almost desperate about this request. Something slipping, as if he was afraid and wanted to get as far away as possible. This is peak Fade behavior. It actually is. I love how much the Spectre character here happens to match how I write Fade. It's a very amusing coincidence. You concentrate on the spot where he vanished, but nothing manifests. As you focus on the thought of him, something changes and suddenly the world seems clearer. Your worries melt away as you realize that whatever you'd heard had been a simple misunderstanding. fate will clear it up once he decides to come back. If only I could cure my anxiety by lying to myself. You get yourself together and move back towards the main lobby, while you think. Hello, hello, Brandy. Welcome. Hey, Silas, Luca calls you. Fuck, you've forgotten about her. Maybe she can provide a distraction to help you forget what just happened. She's leaning back beside the door, watching the others as they leave. I got to say, that whole thing might have been worth it just to see Bouchard? Beauchard? So pissed off. I gotta look it up now. I'll try. Someone's gotta know how to pronounce this word. You're doing great, was I? No, it's too late. All right, here we go.
Ames.com.
Bouchard.
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 Bouchard. Interesting. Thanks, France. Bouchard. God, I'll try to remember that. It's going to end up being back to Mr. Boo after a while. Interesting. You're great at pronouncing. Don't lie to me, D. Yeah, I thought he was going to explode. Don't forget why we were there. A primogen was crucified. It's no laughing matter. I don't comment. It seems a bit unseemly to make such statements about a primogen, especially where others might overhear. Maybe. I'll admit it was a bit funny. Maybe it was a bit funny, but also, I think the last one might be the smartest one, because others might overhear. Sorry, Luca. Don't... Shut the fuck up. What are you doing? Come on, Luca. So, you say, what was it that you had planned for tonight? Right, Luca says. Walk with me over to the corner. You follow her, away from the door, as several other kindred make their way out. She doesn't want to be heard. Not about this, making fun of Bouchard. She did. It's not the best sign. You know how I told you about the church I visited? You nod. Well, I didn't tell you the whole story. I thought I was alone, but the priest overheard my prayers. It was stupid. I should have paid more attention to my surroundings, but I wasn't exactly in a stable frame of mind. What with breaking into a church to ask Christ if it was a mortal sin for a vampire to commit suicide. Wow, Luca. So, you killed him, right? As fucked up as that might be to ask, that is a masquerade breach to a T. Did he actually... Okay. Did he hear everything, Luca? Did he hear every goddamn word you said? Did you kill him? Yeah, no. Did he actually overhear you? I don't think I actually used those words. No, Luca says. But the sentiment could have been inferred even if I never outright said it. She looks distinctly uncomfortable. No doubt this is a difficult story for her to tell. This is like new waters for me. I've never gone down Luca's side story. I hope it doesn't fuck up keys. Ugh. It has the ring of something long repressed, in fact. You may be the very first kindred she's spoken to about it. Prosit, thank you. She lapses into an uncomfortable silence. Not sure what else to do, you give her You decide to give her a gentle verbal nudge. Speak the fuck up. No. So what happened? She's scratching at her neck, unconsciously now. We can keep this between ourselves, right? She doesn't wait for a response, of course. So the priest, Father Diamico. Diamico? Father Diamico. Amico. Diamico. She being sussy or is it just me? I don't know. It's a good question. Father Diamico. He wanted to take my confession, but I couldn't possibly do that in the state I was in. But he didn't just dismiss me. He offered to help. Be a spiritual guide. I never had anyone in the church take such an interest in me before, even when I was mortal. So you took him up on it. It's all you can do to keep from quirking an eyebrow. even I just quirked an eyebrow. Oh dear. I did. Yeah. And it went really, really well. A smile ghosts its way over her face at the remembrance, and you can tell that she's being genuine. Somehow, without even knowing what I really am, he helped me understand myself. He strengthened the bond that I had with Christ and pulled me back from the edge of the abyss. There's no judgment or prying questions, just patience and understanding. He saved me. A trio of pedestrians nearly collides with you and you step back away from the road. They're laughing and they reek of alcohol. Did it. I can't hear the music. I'm glad it's well timed. I never did understand. Never did understand the appeal of getting drunk, Luca says. Well, clearly you took out your depression in different ways, girl. Though I suppose drinking for pleasure's not all that different than what we do. Also true, aside from the fact that we need to drink blood to survive. It's pleasurable enough. She's stalling. So I take it this story doesn't have a happy ending, Luca, does it? He breached the fucking masquerade. You did. You both did. I'm glad the experience was so positive to you. Luca, look, I don't have all night. Cut to the chase now. Let's go with that first one. Direct, but not rude. I honestly don't know yet. She shakes her head. It's been years since I've seen Father Diamico. I've been out of the country, sent here and dealing with Corliss's accounts and business interests. Seeing him again was one of the things I looked forward to when I was thinking of home. She pauses for a moment. But now he's gone. No one I used to talk to in the parish knows where he went or if he's even still alive. He just went missing one day. Within a week, he was replaced. Just like that. So a vampire found out that you told him. Come on, what else is it gonna be? In a world of vampires? Sorry, Luca. What if he's a pastor vampire hunter now? Yeah, imagine that. That would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? I sympathize, you say. I'm just not sure how to be any help. I've been watching the church, Lucas says. I didn't want to risk approaching the new priest. I don't need to test my luck. But the place still called to me. Thing is, I noticed something weird. People coming and going at all hours of the night, which would be strange just by itself, but they're careful when they leave. Like they've got something to hide. And I've seen them load strange boxes into their cars. I think something bad is happening there, Silas. I want to sneak in tonight, see if I can catch them in the act. Oh, this was a church here, not a church overseas. This is a church here. So you cannot see this priest again, girl. It has been like a decade since you last saw him. You haven't aged a day. What are you thinking? I also think it's vampires. The La Sombra are heavily integrated into the Catholic Church, or at least they used to be. I don't know if they still are at this point in the game. Do you think They're using the church as a front for organized crime. No, no, no. Do you think something supernatural is involved? Luca, I hate to say it, but sometimes things change. Not churches taking out boxes at 3 a.m. That I've never heard of before. Sounds like trouble, Luca. I think you should back the fuck off and leave the mortals alone. No, no, no. Do you think something supernatural is involved? The lasagna. Listen, D, the lasagna's got to be protected. All hours of the day, okay? Don't... It's like Fight Club. Don't talk about the lasagna. It's okay if they take it out at 4 a.m. We're going to pretend like they take nothing out. I haven't seen any evidence of it, no, Lucas says. But at this point, nothing would surprise me. Those boxes they were carrying, it could be anything. Drugs, guns, who knows. I know it sounds paranoid, but you should have seen them sulking around in the shadows at 3 and 4 in the morning. Look, I was right. I can't let them treat the church like that. I need to get closer and find out what's really happening. I was going to hire someone for backup, but a trusted kindred is worth 10 mercenaries. You'll help? I'll owe you a favor. I want to help Key. I want to help Key. I don't... Fine. Having a kindred owe you a favor can be quite useful indeed, but is it really worth getting involved? Can't treat the church like that. Nothing shady ever happens. Nothing has ever happened. Nothing shady has ever happened in a church. Ever. Ever, ever. Fuck me. Oh. I'm all out of the wah-wah. Yeah, I'll help, but I think we should tread very carefully. No one can know we were there. Yes. I'm sorry, Luca, I think this is a bad idea, and I'd recommend you fuck off. No. If it means this much to you, I think we should go all in. We'll figure out what's going on, even if things need to get a little rough. That, you know what, that sounds a bit like the unhinged character that we are. Let's do it. All in, right? Right, no half measures. If we're going in, the place, when we leave, it's going to be burning. Yikes, I don't think she'd like that. Yes! Lucas says, I knew I could count on you. So when we doing this? We should head over right now. Right fucking now, Luca! So we can get in position to watch. If they come by the same time they did last night, I saw them, they'll be pulling up with their cargo a bit before 3. We're headed to St. Anthony, Padua? St. Anthony of Padua. Padua. Oh, what is that? I don't know where that is. Anyway, St. Anthony's. Know the place? You've never been inside, but you're familiar with the building. On the corner of Gladstone and Booth. That's the one. Not what you were expecting. It's a smaller church, you say. What made you choose to go there when you were having troubles? Luca shakes her head. I don't know. Just felt right, you know? There's not always a logical reason for these things. My hair is getting longer. Look at that. It's like down to my shoulders now. I didn't realize. I like it. Jasper gains self-awareness for 3 seconds. Something supernatural is happening there, 100%. She's not wrong. You'd given up on any absolute belief in the power of logic the night you were reborn as a blood-drinking undead kindred. In a world of the supernatural, who's to say that Luca's Catholic ties hadn't pulled her towards the church? Stranger things had happened. With the hair and with the game. We should go, she says. If we miss them, we'll have to try again another night. And thanks for agreeing to this. It means a lot to me. No problemo, you say. Cold wind whips down Nene Street, and suddenly you're chilled to the bone. Luca is pretty high up. Key is also pretty high up. Next chapter. I got about 20 more minutes. Continue to the next chapter. We don't need to reset any changes. Chapter 5. Exhibition. St. Anthony of Padua is a thin wedge of a building. its light brown brick facade overseeing the intersection between Gladstone Avenue and Booth Street. A wide set of steps lead up to the entrance, separated off into 3 even rows by a set of black metal railings. It's quite a lot. 3 rows, 4 railings. To their right, a white van is parked in the cramped driveway of a delivery bay. I don't know if I've seen a church with a delivery bay. That's like something that supermarkets have. Oh well. Its engine is off, and the driver is nowhere to be seen. Maybe I just haven't seen a church big enough. I've seen like cathedrals and everything though. Those don't have delivery. Oh well, whatever. You search for signs of movement, but the only mortals anywhere near the church are 2 very large men seated in metal chairs across the street as they smoke cigarettes in a small Piazza Dante park. Oh, Piazza. Piazza Dante. Pizza. Jesus. Piazza Dante Park. They don't seem to be looking at you. That's one of the vans I saw the other night. Pizza. Yeah. It's 1 letter off. I inserted it with a word I know very well. Pizza Dante. Yes. Like Dante's Inferno. Pizza Dante. Only serves spicy pizzas. That's one of the vans I saw the other night. There are 2 more just like that one that'll come later, unmarked. You're sure this isn't some normal operation, you ask. It looks like a standard van. Maybe they just get their deliveries at night. What fucking deliveries does a church get? I know they serve a little bit of food, serve a little bit of wine, right? But like, this isn't a store, Silas. They don't. Right. Am I wrong? Maybe I just don't have that much experience with churches. Maybe churches do get deliveries every single day. They gotta deliver those communion wafers somewhere. Yeah, but that's like a box, right? Maybe a few boxes? It is a church. What does that... Or a cult? Oh, is it a church or a cult? Fair. I mean, with what they're describing, I'm leaning towards the second, but what is Silas thinking that churches get regular deliveries worth 3 vans of shipment? Huh? I feel like I'm missing out on a part of normal reality, or maybe the writer is. I don't know. I'm leaning towards money laundering front. That, maybe. Who knows? Luca shakes her head. I can't tell you how I know. I just do. And if I'm wrong, well, you are a Malkavian, so let's go with it. And if I'm wrong, we can laugh about it another night, and I'll still owe you a favor. That's fair, right? Hey, Sonia. Candles. Yeah, right? Like, what else? I'm just being blown away. Why is my vampire thinking 3 vans worth deliveries every single night to what has been described as a particularly small church? Why do I think that's normal? Why does my camera keep glitching out? You okay, camera? All the kitties dink the wire. Investigating. Yeah, I mean, my camera should like be buzzed again. It's probably not plugged in as well as it should. The cat likes to try to use the cable sticking out of the back of the computer as a stepladder for getting up and down my computer, and I try to stop that every time I see it, but I can't. Yeah, maybe it's just loose. I can try taking a little quick, cheeky peeky. Give me 1 second. Just shove it back in. Let's see. I would put all of my eggs in. Oh no! Oh fuck, that hurt. Oh. I'm back. You are not safe for work in the name. All right. 15 more minutes. Okay, but there aren't many places to hide around here. So where are they hiding all these fucking boxes then, son? 3 boxes. No, not 3 boxes. 3 vans worth of boxes, and there's not that much. Somewhere the logic is not adding up with this. Am I missing brain cells? What? Oh, bye-bye, Soraya. Gotta go to Reddit. For a good night's sleep. Thanks for stopping by. How are we supposed to watch them without looking suspicious? Do you even need to ask? Luca says, as she waves you towards the delivery bay and melds with the shadows. A moment later, you join her, swathed in darkness, silent and complete. Are like SUV vans or U-Haul vans? That's a good... I'm assuming it means, you know, like those, classic white service vans? Like a... I don't know, any kind of like small business would use, like a plumber or... I don't know if I can say landscaper. Those guys usually use trucks, but... like a window repair. I don't know, just any little like shitty white van that doesn't have as many windows as it should. And is probably older than I am, driving around. I feel like it's probably one of those, not like a whole U-Haul van or something. Like a murder van. Yes. Unmarked white van, exactly. Tell me that doesn't look suspicious to you, Luca whispers, once you've gotten a proper survey of the place. 2 men who had been waiting in the park have returned to the van. They're unloading white coolers from the back seat and bringing them in one by one into the building through a side door in the shadowy loading bay. Wine? Now, I know wine doesn't need to be in coolers. Right, unless they're serving grape juice. You're fairly well obscured behind several shrubs, and so far no one has turned an eye in your direction. After several trips, the men run out of cargo. Instead of bringing more coolers in, they start lugging out heavy-looking oblong crates, taking them from the church and shoving them into the back of the van one at a time. They almost look like coffins, Luca explains. Does blood, though? Actually, very good point. Yeah, it does. I don't know why I hadn't even thought about that. Coffins, Luca exclaims. I wasn't close enough to see last time. I thought it was weapons or maybe drugs. Careful! You whisper, don't raise your voice. Sorry, You shake your head. We don't know for sure. I'm just really, really slow right now, I guess, Luca. Sorry. Of course it's fucking coffins. Of course it's fucking blood. As if the universe itself wanted to prove you wrong, the sound of a scuffle breaks out from inside the church, punctuated by a brief cry for help, quickly silenced. We have to do something, Silas, Luca says. We have to do something now. I agree. Let's kill them all. Just something unnecessarily unhinged. I'll take out the 2 men transported in coffins while you head inside and help whoever's screaming. Can you hold these guys off while I run inside? I need to check it out. We can take these guys out together and then move into the church. Let's do it fast, right? Fast. One at a time. Boom, boom. 1 each. It'll be like, I don't know, Vampire the Assassin's Creed. Why not? Lucas says. We'll get it done faster together than if we split up. No need for anything flashy. We don't want to be punching holes through them or the usual stuff. No deaths, no gunfire. Not right out in the open. Dominate. It doesn't look like these men are particularly strong of mind. A simple command to leave and stay away from the church should take care of them for long enough. We have 3 ticks of hunger. I have a feeling we're going to need a little more. Sometimes the most straightforward solution is the easiest. I use my supernatural strength to beat the shit out of them until they flee or fall unconscious. Don't know. I run forward and kick the box, knocking both the men off balance before attacking. I try to convince them to just take the box and leave. They don't want the kind of trouble I'm bringing. Okay. Fine, maybe something subtle from a distance. We'll do the bloodshed inside, not out on the street. Let's do it. Dominate. You draw power from your blood and stare at the men. You issue your commands quickly, one after the other, before they can reach you. Leave the church, you say simply as you look deep into their eyes, and stay away. It's a draining experience, directing even two simple minds, one after the other, but it works quickly, and that's what matters right now. 2 hunger left. It's the strangest thing, Luca says, creeping through a dimly lit hallway ahead of you. She's moving slowly, as if sensing some unseen danger. I've been here 100 times, and I always felt warm and welcome. Now? She traces fingers along the white painted walls. All I feel is rot. Decay. I think I smell blood, you say, sniffing the musty air. Yeah, Luca says. As she slowly turns the knob on a small side door. We're headed around the side of the nave. Hopefully that's enough to hide us. Be ready for anything. Excuse me, sir, your book's upside down. I've never done this before. I didn't even know this side quest existed. Whee! Symbolism! There he is. I don't even know who this is. 3 parishioners. Didn't realize that could be like a noun applying to interesting. Kneel before an altar, veiled by a delicate black fabric, bearing the symbol of a stylized crown. You could swear you've seen it before, but you can't quite place it. You see no sign of whoever cried out, and the praying mortals don't seem to have noticed or have been bothered by it enough to be moved from their supplications. Luca hisses when she sees the banner, but says nothing, only watches intently as a tall, thin man in priest robes approaches the altar. All right, so Silas, now this is 100% something supernatural, right? This isn't drugs. This is vampire, Silas, right? Right? I cannot be this dumb, right? Please tell me. His vestments have been dyed a bright royal purple, emblazoned with dazzlingly intricate white embroidery. He greets his flock with a predatory smile, eyes flashing in the candlelight, with silent yearning. Father Moretti. Oh, whoops, this is not Luca. Father Moretti. The woman in the center of the trio says as she lowers her head even further, as though she dare not gaze into the priest's eyes. Will you bless us tonight? Are they fucking? Huh? Can I get in on that? What's going on here? Gang bang jamboree? Welcome back, Shay. The drip is divine. The request is chaste. God damn. They're his ghouls. Oh, maybe they are. I thought I was tiptoeing my way into some nun kink shit. I was excited. Oh well. Will you you sense your senses catch fire with a bestial desire. The smell of blood radiates from Moriarty in invisible waves, leaving you momentarily stunned. You're starting to get a pretty good idea about what's going on here. Fucking dead. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Some things just, hit a little harder than others. I was ready. They shut me down. You start to creep forward to get a better look. But Luca puts a warning hand on your shoulder. We have to be sure, she whispers. You work in Corliss's office. Have you seen any reports of kindred matching this description? You shake your head. I missed a pun. Shay. You shake your head. No, like you said earlier, he's been here for some time now, taking over for the priest you were close with. Luca pulls a smartphone from her pocket. She's not supposed to have one, of course, but you're not entirely surprised. Technically, it's only internet communications that Arundel sought to avoid with his ban. I knew they were invading. She seethes, near silently through clenched teeth. I just didn't know they were already entrenched. She starts filming just as Father Moretti sinks his teeth into the mortal woman's neck and drinks in slow, delicate sips. He pulls back, red-stained lips stretched thin in the same chilling smile. Blessed you are, my child. He hands her a Eucharist wafer as she clutches the small piece of bread with holy reverence. Her hands tremble. Only when she brings the offering to her lips do you notice the blood soaked into the dry crust. The three of you are my heralds, Moretti says. Go forth and recruit more children for the flock. Together, we will grow strong again. That's it, Luca whispers. She puts her phone away. I've seen enough. I know you're there, Moretti says. His eyes are closed, and yet you can feel his gaze upon you from the shadows lurking in every corner. Suddenly, the room feels a whole lot darker, more constricting. There's no hiding from the eyes of God, he says. Not in this holy place. We have stumbled into the La Sombra, the vampires who weave shadows as if it was an extension of themselves. Oh boy. Luca lunges forward with a cry of fury, and the three perishers turn as one to guard their regent. All right. Guns blazing, Desert Eagle coming out, putting a hole in this motherfucker. Moretti seems to be empowered by the church's shadows. The only light is from the waiter and candles. If I can manage to turn the lights on, his advantage over me will wither away in their glow. True, he's a La Sombra, fuck him. I rush in with Luca to join the fight. Oh, Luca might die. Targeting Moretti. There's no time to mess around searching for light switches. For all I know, the priest has disabled them. All right, Silas has more brain cells than I do in this one instance. I target the parishioners. With them out of the way, Luca will be able to take down Moretti on her own. Hopefully, she can hold her own until I'm able to join her. It's a gamble. Full success tests. Strength, dexterity, or stamina. Am I good at any of those? I don't know if I'm a fighter. Dex? Well, just Dex. Just Dex. We got a little bit of Dex, actually. We're not shit. Actually, Dex and manipulation are our two best stats. Oh, I kind of like the light switches, but also he very well could have just cut the circuit or something. Head cannon revolvers are the perfect gun. Hand cannon. Yes, hand cannon revolvers. It is, in this game, that is what we have. We have a Desert Eagle. I'll try. Fuck it, I'll try. It's a smart solution. At least, that's what you think to yourself. Oh, does that mean it doesn't work? No! Titties. At least that's what you think as you rush away from the battle to a set of light switches at the other end of the nave. Behind you, you hear the sound of Luca plowing through the parishioners in an attempt to wring Morietta's neck. A second later, you reach the switches and they click into place, but the lights are unresponsive. He's turned off the power. Laughter echoes through the shadows around you as they grow increasingly oppressive. I'm always one step ahead, the priest mocks you, seemingly from everywhere at once. It's my nature, after all. You feel cold, desperately cold, as you search for a way to restore power. Far to the back of the nave, you catch a glimpse of something that looks very likely to be a breaker box. There's no way Moriarty has permanently disabled the lights to the church. He has to maintain appearances during normal Sunday services after all, so there should be a way to turn them back on. But is the detour worth the risk? Can Luca survive fighting one-on-one while you run around? God, I hope so. Yeah, I'm committed now. Of course it's worth it. The shadows are empowering him. I run. I breaker box, please, dear God. Not even reading the other options. I read ahead, it worked. Spoiler. Do you want a head? Because that's how you remove one. Oh man. The laughter stops echoing through the shadows as you change course and run toward the rear wall of the nave. When you're halfway to the breaker box, a voice bellows out from directly in front of you. If you take one step further, I'll slice your friend's head from her shoulders. He's desperate. You can hear it in his voice. Luca will have to wait for one moment. Besides, you can still hear her dishing out punishment from the vicinity of the altar. You've come too far to change your mind now. Seconds later, you reach the panel and rip it wide open, revealing just over a dozen black switches, most in the off position. Here goes nothing. You jam your hand along the left side and pull the trip switches to the right, all at once. As you do, the lights all snap on above you at once, and Father Moriarty shrieks with frustration. What is this, Outlast? I'll destroy you both, this isn't over. The La Sombra they are a special kind of vampire. I think they're the only, there's definitely another vampire that can use the shadows. But the La Sombra, I think, maybe they are the only ones. The La Sombra are, I don't know, shadow weavers? They have like magic to do with shadows themselves. So turning on all the lights really fucks them up. By the time you reach the altar, the fight has all but ended. The three parishioners are bleeding on the floor in a tumbled disarray, and Luca is locked in combat with Moriarty. The priest's vestments have been torn from his shoulders and are tangled with his feet. You duck down and pull the end of it as Luca kicks him in the chest, knocking him backward. You pull the cloth tight as he falls, tripping him and making a smooth landing impossible. If you play a survival stream, I did play Outlast 1 and 2 as my very first stream games ever, but that was years ago at this point. 2 years ago, maybe. I also played The Beast Within. That was like a indie survival horror game. It wasn't great. That one's on YouTube though, if you want to see. I only posted like one kind of like recap video of it. I think it was funny. Fuck Outlast 2. Fuck out. Oh dear. Summer. Oh dear. Fuck that game. I won't play it again on stream because I've already done it, but I'll see. But if I do that, then we won't have the Balloons podcast. When he hits the floor, Luca leaps atop him, straddling his chest as she rains down terrible blows, beating his face into a bloody pulp. Oh shit, never mind. Oh, you don't do well with spooky games. Oh, rip. Chuck's eating the tears. Oh no. The Outlast games can be very jump scary. If it's your first time, in October at least. Yeah, I will have to play more horror games during October. What did you do to Father Diamco? She snarls. Her hands curl up into fists as they grip the priest's red-stained collar. Where is he? Fade appears opposite Luca, watching the struggle with interest. How come you didn't wake me up for this? He asks. You know I love this kind of thing. I didn't exactly have time to stop for a chat, you mutter. Of all the times for him to show up again. I don't wake you up either. You show up when you feel like it. We still have to talk about what you said outside Elysium, but that has to wait. Luca's questioning is starting to get more violent. You should probably give the situation more attention, but Fade seems intent on dominating your thoughts. What do you think she'll do when she learns that Father Diamco's dead? What? You ask. What do you mean he's dead? Fade points at Moriarty. This guy replaces a priest, and you think he's going to keep him alive? You need to pay more attention. He's bad news. You look down at Moriarty's pummeled face. One of his eyes has collapsed into a pool of membranous gore, the bone of its socket shattered. What's a girl got to do for Alien Isolation? I'm worried that Alien Isolation will just be frustrating and mortifying. It seems like Outlast just without the stretches of not being chased. We just ran through the dark. Oh no, Summer, I'm sorry, rip. That's what we want to watch. Oh god. Oh, Alien Isolation. He's not going to be bad news much longer at this rate. What was that? Luca asks, taking a moment to look up at you. Fade has disappeared again. You shake your head. Nothing. Is there like actually a plot to Alien Isolation? We had a lot of batteries. You never used them. Oh, summer, no! Oh, it doesn't sound like a good time, Rip.
What do you think is going to happen here, child?
Father Moretti says with a chuckle through split lips. Several of his teeth have been knocked out, rendering his expression a true grotesquerie.
You believe that I'll relent so you'll save the church like a conquering hero. No, this isn't over till I say it is.
Fuck you, Luca says, bringing her fist down on his nose, breaking it with a heavy crunch of knuckle and cartilage.
It's over and you know it. Just tell me where Father Diamco is.
Moretti looks like he's going to laugh again, but his expression suddenly goes cold.
You're serious?
He pauses in thought.
Then you must be little Luca.
The old man told me a lot about you before he died. How he saved you, hauled you back from the brink of oblivion. I think he regretted his choice of words when the darkness swallowed him up.
Where is he?
Luca screams. She grips the side of Moretti's head and jams her thumbs into his eye sockets with a sickening squelch.
What did you do to him? You know exactly what I did to him.
He croaks.
He's dead. Soul torn from his body and tormented on the other side of the veil for eternity.
Your disciplines allow you to look close at the priest's aura. You watch for any signs that he's lying, but there are none. Ridley's daughter. Oh, interesting. That does sound... I'll look into it, but like I said, it just looks like a game that will be very frustrating and, I don't know, scare me shitless. You're sure Luca knows the same, but she's determined not to give up. You've never seen Luca so enraged. To hell with the traditions. To hell with all of it. This creature is no true vampire. I don't even have to ask permission, and he needs to be destroyed. Ripley. Oh, yes. Then do it, Luca. I think he should die. Just saying. He's a Lasombra. The Lasombra shouldn't even be in the Camarilla, at all. This is sussy. Somebody let them in here. Luca deserves vengeance. She may never forgive me if I take the opportunity away from her. We should finish him and get out of here. There's been enough commotion that someone must have called the police by now. We can't get caught in the middle of this mess. I grab a piece of splintered wood. Ooh, I kind of like the second one. I grab a piece of splintered wood from one of the demolished pews. We shouldn't destroy him. Let's stake him instead. I'll call Gerard and have him bring the body to a secure location. I like that. Let me finish him, Luca. Father Diamco wouldn't have wanted you to take vengeance. No, I like that. Let's continue interrogating this fucker. Ooh, I think I'm gonna do that. We shouldn't destroy him. Let's stake him. Yeah. Luca hesitates a moment. Oh, Luca. Before she takes the makeshift stake from you. I want vengeance, she says, her hands clenching around the wood until you can hear knuckles popping. Father Diamco spoke to me right before the end. He must have thought that he could save Moretti like he saved me. She kicks the false priest in the ribs. Maybe there's no saving us. Maybe I was wrong and God has abandoned me.
It's a message,
Moretti says, croaking.
Eyeless. You're damned, Luca, damned forever. You may as well give in now. Succumb to the darkness's embrace. You'll find peace there.
He reaches out, arms trembling slightly with the effort.
Take my hand and I'll show you. I'll take the pain away.
To hell with you, Luca snarls. She slaps the priest's hand away and kicks him onto his back, raising the stake in the air. This is for Father Diamco. She slams it down through Moretti's chest. God, this game and its descriptions. You can hear his ribcage snapping as his dead flesh parts, making way for the stake to pierce his heart. Finally, the false priest goes blessedly silent, his venomous tongue silenced for however long the stake transfixes his cold, dead heart. You're thinking of a way to contact Gerard so he can transport the body, but Luca is already dialing a number on her phone. Hey, get me Key. Pause. I need you to keep the cops from St. Anthony of Padua. Tell them it's a federal matter if you have to. It's important. Another pause. I also need a pickup. Can't say. You'll understand me when you get here. She gives you a nod. Thanks, Key. She hangs up and looks at you. He's not happy. Oh, we both fucking love Key. Good shit. I like the poetic touch of using the pure wood. Yeah. He'll forgive me when he sees what we've caught. Don't worry, he doesn't even know you were here. This is all me, okay? She walks with you towards the rear exit of the building. I really appreciate this. I never got this bit of the story when I first played. This is really cool. I'm invested. I really appreciate you coming out with me. If you hadn't been here, I don't know what would have happened. I'm not sure I would have won my way. I'm not sure I would have won out on my own. No problem. Glad to help. This was a mistake, Luca. Don't forget you owe me a favor. It was important for me to be with you. I feel like I've really gotten to know you. You are a bloodthirsty monster. Oh, we knew that, though. We're all vampires. It's good that you survived, but I don't think I'll be joining you. No. First one. Do you think... Yeah, that one? All right. I feel like I've really gotten to know you. Why not? Let's do it. Unhinged. Luca smiles broadly. You like watching me gouge out men's eyeballs, do you? I can do it again if you'd like. No, Luca, no, thank you. I got enough of that from Game of Thrones. I don't ever need to see it again. Maybe the next time we spend time together, it won't be quite as messy, eh? She leads you out onto the street. No crowds have gathered, and luckily you don't see any observers. It's a good thing neither of you discharged a firearm during the night. Yeah, well, I really wanted to use my Desert Eagle, though. Ottawa tends to frown on that kind of thing lately. Time for me to go deal with the fallout. Key's going to know the details sooner than later. Might as well meet him in person. Can I drive you anywhere? Nope, I am okay. Thanks for the offer, though. You need a little time to clear your head, and you're not all that far from the downtown core. Little walking isn't going to kill you. You're already dead. Okay, Luca says, as she gets into her car. I'll see you around. Hello, Mandy. I know you've marked her and let her have a taste of blood, true. Shay. I'm sorry, that pun, it almost hurt. I'm glad they wrote that in, but, baby girl's first gouge. Ooh. All right, I can play just a little more. I'm really enjoying this. That delivery. They did write it in. They literally wrote it in. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? Fade says. He waves goodbye to Luca as she pulls away and down the street. She can't see him. So you think you're pretty impressive beating up a priest, pretending to be altruistic. I think it will take more than that to win Luke over to your side. She's a tough nut to crack, and you're not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, dipshit. Yeah, I know I'm not, Fade. I knew it was vampires from the start, but I refused to see that. You thought that was me. No, that was in the game. It literally said you're already dead. I would have added that by myself, but no, that was in the game, yes. Noted, you say dismissively. Silas, you were a bit of a dipshit. You were a little dumb, Silas. You were a little dumb. Come on, it was obviously vampire. Oh well, whatever. It was a very huge joke. You don't believe me? I can't go back. It won't let me back up until we finish the chapter. But Fade's comments are making you wonder. Just why did you come along tonight? Just to help Luca, or was there some other reason? Because I clicked the fucking button. What is this half-assed fourth wall break? What? You ponder this as you walk at a brisk pace down the road away from the church. What did you mean earlier, you ask, about me not being able to leave the city? You can't just drop something like that, then ghost me. I don't know what you're talking about, Fade says. He seems genuinely puzzled. I just remember you waving off my idea. You're the one who said we shouldn't leave. I'm sharing a space in your head, right? Maybe you were just arguing with yourself. Who's to say? Ghost him, literally, yeah. The explanation doesn't sit quite right with you, but you've known Fade long enough to know when to stop pushing. Anything more at this part would be an exercise in futility. For now, it might be best just to try to head home and get some well-deserved nine-eye. Betty bye. Big Z's. Yes, Fade. Mansplain, manipulate, man whore. I love that. That is awesome. You arrive home less than half an hour before sunup. Mind reeling. Hello, Jay. Hello. Is this game part of your inspiration for Fate? No, Sonia. Much better than that, actually. Because of the type of vampire we chose to play as, apparently, we have a specter that follows us everywhere. But the game let us name this specter, so of course I named it Fade, and it also let us choose what he wears and their personality type. So, among the options of what to wear was a black occult robe, and I thought that fit way too perfectly. And then the personality type, one of them was just sassy and sarcastic. So somehow this game gave me the option to build Fade without knowing that Fade exists. I think this game even came out like, I don't know, 2020 or something. Sometime after I had actually created Fade. Yeah, so it's a very happy coincidence. I'm loving it. I didn't expect it at all. Looking extra vampy, thank you. Yeah, it made me very happy. For so long, you've felt like your unlife's been moving at a glacial pace, but now you're beginning to feel like a noose rests around your neck, and each night it's growing tighter. You hadn't expected your evening out with Luca to end up like the Mountain versus the Viper, but it devolved so quickly, and yet there's a certain edge of excitement to it, you have to admit. What was Father Moretti? Why do I want to say Moriarty? Who is Moriarty? Oh, that's like Moriarty from Sherlock, right? Father Moretti. What was Father Moretti's real story? He must have fled from Montreal's Sabbat enclave after the city's kindred were flushed out and destroyed. But how did he manage to escape? And how did he expect to survive a seat in the Camarilla's power in Canada? Oh, the way he acts is spot on, yeah. Good morning, Master. Gerard greets you. I imagine you had a productive evening. That is one fucking way to put it, Gerard. It feels like the longest night since my embrace. Get the fuck out, Gerard. No, we're not picking that. There have been some attacks against kindred. No, we'll do the first one. I love Gerard. Let's be nice to him. Sounds quite difficult, Master. Gerard says sympathetically. I won't be asking the particulars, but is there anything I need to know that would help me assist you? Let's tell him the particulars. Someone powerful is causing court some trouble. Just keep your eyes open. I'm not really interested, Gerard. No, there have been some attacks against kindred. I need you to be on alert, especially after what I just did. The ghoul raises his eyebrows. Attacks, you say? The bad old raids from Montreal again. You shake your head. Oh, the bad old days of raids from Montreal again. Shake your head. We don't know just yet. Just be on guard for anything suspicious. If you feel like you need to hire some trusted muscle to watch the areas outside the front entrance, I will leave that to your discretion. I know, I love Gerard too. 1950s smoking jacket. Interesting. I don't think I even know what that would look like. I'll have to look one up. Gerard scribbles down a note on the small pad he always keeps on his person. The fact that you're bringing it up to me is quite concerning enough, Master. Consider it done. Thank you, Gerard. Not a problem at all. Before you retire for the day, I have a pertinent item for your attention. It will only be a moment. You sink into a plush chair beside Gerard's desk as he flips through his notebook. Hopefully it's not something that requires immediate action. In a world of feast or famine, this isn't the type of feasting you've grown accustomed to. I find it exciting. Chaos is a catalyst for change. Finally, a chance to prove my worth and gouge out more eyeballs. I got a taste of it once, I need more. Oh dear. Such disorder is extremely alarming. We are Malkavian. Let's embrace the full chaos, right? What is the most unhinged option we have here? Turmoil in the court could be useful. I told you, Summer. There needs to be an end to this disorder in the court. And removing Corliss. Ooh, yikes. Are we really becoming a Kingslayer already? I'm putting in so many Game of Thrones references. God, I never even finished that series. There might never be another better time. No, let's do the first one. I find it riveting. Gerard nods to himself and looks up from the notebook. It didn't take much asking around to find out more about Robert Ward for you. Surprisingly enough, it's not a lack of information that is the problem. It's the preponderance of it. Almost everyone I spoke to had a story, or they'd heard one. Usually it's like pulling teeth to find out information about Kindred, so the excursion was rather refreshing. That is, until I started getting conflicting reports. Conflicting? I see a bloodthirsty first time. From a mile away. Oh dear, Summer. Conflicting, you ask? It's to be expected, I suppose. How much is conflicting? Gerard grimaces. Over a third of it. It seems our friend Ward left an impression wherever he went. Big personality. Well, he is a big man, that's for sure. Not surprising, you say. You remember the man's face leering up at you as his hand tightened around your neck. Some things are hard to forget. You must go back to work. Oh, bye-bye, Mandy. Thank you for stopping in. Is there any information that you think is more than a rumor? Facts are hard to come by, but contradictions weed themselves out sometimes. Sometimes they don't, right? I'll trust your judgment. Gerard, what do you think is worth knowing? Let's tell him that one. Of course we fucking trust Gerard. We love him. Gerard the butler. Gerard Butler? Oh dear. Ever since somebody made that observation, it's just too amusing. I trust you, Gerard. Gerard sits down behind his desk and flips several pages through his notebook. As a quick aside, do be aware I'm destroying these notes before I retire this afternoon. There will be no record of our inquiry. You nod. No need to leave physical evidence behind. Here's what I've pieced together about his history. Gerard continues. Ward was embraced in the late 1800s in England. Just like my sire my sire. Yes, I was about to say and Corliss. Corliss is my sire. Just like my sire and the missing prince. What if he has a Scottish accent? Oh dear. He came to Canada shortly thereafter with some clanmates and settled in Berlin, now known as Kitchener? Is that really a Kitchener? Is that a town? Kitchener, Ontario. The Bruja weren't welcome in the capital then, but when Prince Arundel took praxis and welcomed the rabble, word arrived almost immediately. Coincidence? I think not. Corliss told me about some of that, you say. It was one of Arundel's only decisions that she spoke out against publicly. I think we're catching on to something here. That was one of the most referenced items on my list, Gerard says, skipping down a few lines with his finger. Jax. Ward and Arundel grew close. Close enough to cause friction with Corliss. Shortly thereafter, the brouhaha largely split with the Camarilla, though my contacts couldn't tell me why. He arches an eyebrow in an unspoken question. You shake your head. Some kindred matters are not for servants, no matter how loyal. After the split, Ward chose ideology over friendship and left to join the Anarchs. There was no word from him until a few nights ago. He closes the notebook. Given the recent unrest, I was thinking I may be able to assist you in more than information gathering in the city. Arranging for defenses, procuring offensive equipment. Whatever I can do to assist. I like the sound of that. Let's burn the whole fucking city down, Gerard. Let's do it. Let's do it. Increase alarms, motion sensors, everything. Do you think you could track down any firearms? Not much. Can defend against vampire attackers, but incendiaries can hurt kindred worse than anything. Oh, I see. Firearms that can shoot incendiary rounds. True, good idea. Keep a close watch on my holdings and finances. Maybe move the money to an offshore account. There's more than one way to ruin an immortal. Kindred love to see an enemy grovel. These are all good ideas. Can I just ask him to do them all? Right? Gerard is the best butler in the world. Or at least up until the 18th century. Firearms, if you will. I'll make him start with the first one. We'll see if we can do other ones. That can be arranged, Master. Fuck! Alright, we can only do one. Now, if I may be so bold, you should probably sleep. It's nearly sunup. Gerard is right, and you can feel it. As you were talking, you began to feel a great weight on your shoulders. You may be shielded from the sun inside your haven, but daytime brings a weariness to even the most powerful vampires. You dismiss your servant and slink back to your coffin. Darkness washes over you almost immediately as you recline and slip into sweet oblivion. I might have to leave it there.